What's up guys, it's Fish here and welcome back to my glorious Bannerman 2, some more Attila Total War 12-12 action. So, today's battle is a pretty interesting one, mainly because we get to look at these Hungarian knights, which are, by far, I think my favourite unit in the game. Just look at them. They look spectacular. They really do. So I can't wait to show you guys these badasses in action because they are really awesome. So today we have a 2 vs 2 for you guys. I am joined by Pixelated Apollo on my side over here, and we are currently facing off against Indie Pride and Warrior Sparta playing as France and Georgia, and I'm playing as obviously Hungary, and Pixelated Apollo is playing as the Lithuanians. So it's a nice Hungarian-Lithuanian alliance. Also, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who liked the last video, mainly because my graphics were really crap on it. That was because, if you guys were wondering, it's a siege battle, and obviously the game needs to render a lot more and my computer just gets absolutely wrecked by it. But hopefully, if you guys keep on supporting the channel, I'll be able to hopefully get a new computer before Warhammer, and we can start playing some 12-12 in glorious ultra settings. That'd be epic if we could do that. Also, I want to say thank you to the feedback I got on the last video. All the constructive criticism was really awesome. I think the main bit of feedback you guys were telling me was that you want to see more actual action, whereas I'm kind of zooming around trying to show you guys everything that's happening. And you guys kind of wouldn't mind missing a bit of action, like on one side of the field, if you guys just got to see some more fighting. And I think that is very true of a replay and what people want to see. So I will make sure to try and show you guys more of the action coming through in this replay and in the future. Also, I am really trying to work on not saying as much. I know I said it quite a lot in the previous video, so I will try my best to kind of minimize that, but it's going to be, you know, like 10, 15, 20 replays until I like kind of get rid of that. Obviously it is just kind of a thing I say when I'm thinking. I just said it there without even thinking. But yeah, let's move on. So I am playing as Hungary, obviously, as I said, and I just love the knights so much. They look awesome. So we'll run through my army roughly. I brought 4 units of these Hungarian knights, who are just absolutely awesome. They're the highest tier cavalry unit I can get, because cavalry is just so important, especially in a field battle. I want to get this as much. I want to just kind of dominate the cavalry fight. I could have also brought some spears over with this cavalry to kind of help me win the battle against Warrior Sparta over there, but I kind of decided that my knights would just be strong enough as they are, and I didn't really build any spear units to kind of support that at all. For my main kind of like halberdier line, I bought 4 units of Hungarian halberdiers. They're like your solid men-at-arms type of unit. They'll kind of get the work done if you get them engaged right. And then for my sword infantry, I think I bought like 5 or 6 of these sergeants, because my plan was to kind of use these guys on my flanks to really cause some issues whilst I'm holding with my halberdiers in the center. Oh, look at them. Awesome. And then I bought 2 units of these crossbow sergeants to kind of make up and try and kill, because I knew Warrior Sparta was going as a French, and I know they have a lot of heavy armored units, so I decided to get some crossbowmen instead of archers, just to try and like hit his men who do have the heavy armor, and just try and whittle down their numbers. Also got a unit of peasant archers just to be skirmish, and I had space, and they're only 100 gold, and they do so much damage for 100 gold, it's ridiculous. I think there's a really good way to route these guys though. If you just fire arrow them, they'll just route, because they only have 9 morale. Yeah, well, actually look at their morale. Yeah, they literally only have, they have 14 morale this time. I guess because my general or something maybe. But yeah, their morale is so awful. So if you get like a couple volleys of fire arrows on these peasant archers, I'm pretty sure they're just going to go straight away. Yeah, I think that's everything on my army. I brought 5 units of swords. So, Pixelated Apollo's army, he went ahead and brought, I mean, this Lithuanian cavalry looks pretty cool as well. I think it's mainly the shields which make it look awesome. Apollo went ahead and brought 4 units of this cavalry. I'm pretty sure they're all the same. Oh no, he actually bought 2 units of this cavalry. I'm not going to try it. Some boyars, I think that's how you pronounce them. And then he went ahead and bought some horse archers as well, who also do have a nice looking spear on their back as well. So Pixie definitely does love his horse archers. He loves to harass and become a nuisance. His main archer line is a whole bunch of these archers. I'm definitely not going to try and pronounce that, because I know I'll butcher it. But you guys can see what they are. He went ahead and brought 4 units of them. He actually invested pretty heavily in his archer force there. 4 units of them, 2 units of these armoured spearmen. or even three units of his armoured spearmen. I think he's throwing another unit of spearmen over to go ahead and support his cavalry, which is obviously a very good thing to do. If you can go ahead and win these cavalry engagements, because they go on for so long, if you can free up your cavalry early and start pushing that onto the melee fight, you're going to be in such a good advantage. Because you want to kind of lock down the enemy cavalry and then try and free yours up. Like, that will help you win the battle. And then he has a whole bunch of these noble swordsmen. I think 5 of these noble swordsmen, which I assume is his top tier infantry. Sounds like they are if they're called nobles. Nobleman. And then he's got some more armoured infantry behind just to kind of help out, and but obviously his general. So, the other side of the battlefield, Indy Pride is playing as the Georgians. I want to go ahead and just pause it because I'm taking a little bit longer than I should, and I don't want the battle to kind of get underway before we jump in. So he has a unit of, I'm definitely not going to try and pronounce that, a unit of heavy shock cavalry, we'll say. And you can see Indy Pride definitely does the smartest thing. He boosts up his stats of his cavalry as much as he can, and it's something I didn't actually do, and I really should have, because as I mentioned before, it's just so vital winning the cavalry fight. It really is. I mean, obviously, like, the cavalry fight isn't the #1 most important thing. If you win the melee engagement pretty heavily, you're not going to have to worry too much about the cavalry. But if it's a close battle and you free up your cavalry, it just turns the tide so much in your favour. So yeah, here's 1 unit of cavalry over here. Something Indy Pride also really loves to do is he loves to have cavalry in the middle of his line, or kind of on one of the flanks, but into his infantry line, and he loves to charge enemy infantry with it. This is really effective because if the enemy infantry doesn't brace for it, they get absolutely wrecked. And if it's against sword infantry, the melee cavalry just ends up winning anyway, or the shock cavalry just ends up winning over time anyway. If you keep on cycle charging and they're not braced, it just really becomes an issue for them. So I think he actually only brought 3 units of his cavalry. Oh no, yeah, he did bring 4 cavalry units, but he did obviously spend a lot on them with the upgrades and stuff, so his infantry is going to kind of lack a little bit. He didn't actually bring too many spears either. He bought this 1 unit of spears, and then just a whole bunch of these swordsmen. I think this is just his entire line, right? As the units clip in. Good old Attila, hey? Yeah, just a whole bunch of these swordsmen as his kind of main infantry line. So I'm actually thinking Pixie kind of has a nice little advantage over here, because if he can hold them in place with his swords infantry, but then again, obviously Pixie has horse archers, so that's going to be kind of annoying to deal with, as Indy Pride's kind of infantry or cavalry can kind of move where they want to. And then he brought a whole bunch of these archers just to go along his line. Warrior Sparta's army is fairly similar. He just got a whole bunch of heavy knights, some crossbowmen there on the front line. Sorry, I'm speeding this up a little bit because I want to kind of get into the action. We'll go ahead and slow it up again. Yeah, a whole bunch of these footmen at arms and infantry, pretty much along his entire line. He also went ahead and got crossbowmen, because the French have really good crossbows, and then some foot knight retinue and some men at arms, and then just some sergeants on his left flank. So his left flank's actually a little bit weak. He also has his 3 units of cavalry over here. We can actually probably stick it at play now. Then he has some mounted sergeants on here. So I'm actually feeling pretty confident going into this battle, just because I have so much, like, my cavalry's a lot heavier than his, and in a prolonged engagement, he also only has melee cavalry as well. Yeah, he actually only brought melee cavalry. So in a long, prolonged engagement, my cavalry would actually win, because they'll get a better charge on this melee cavalry, just because they're so much better. And they actually have more units. Oh, I actually do shove a unit of spearmen over with me. I totally forgot I even did this. So I guess I do go ahead and bring this unit of spear sergeants, trying to use an Alexander tactic in this. Because if I can go ahead and free up a unit of my cavalry, and engage his melee cavalry with my spearmen, much like something like Alexander would do, that'll go ahead and give me a unit of cavalry just to kind of smash along his line and actually hit his archers and try and get rid of his crossbowmen as soon as possible. They just look beautiful. I think this is, yeah, as I said, by far my favourite unit in the game, the Hungarian Knights. They just look spectacular. They really do. And the scenery for this battle is actually really nice. It's got a mountain over there, a humongous hill off that. It's kind of like the story's been created that we were so confident we came off this massive hill and decided to engage the enemy forces. I'm running my spearmen up, obviously, because I want them to get into position. They're going to take a lot longer to get into position than my cavalry is. And the rest of my line is also moving up. So I want to get my archers up. Indy Pride's trying to cause me some issues. Obviously, if he charges me head on with his cavalry, it's gonna like do so much damage. Luckily, Pixie does tell me about this, and I get my archers to bear and start trying to hit away at this horse unit, trying to kill some of the shock. cavalry. And if I can get rid of this, it'd be really nice. But I don't actually manage to rack up any kills on it, which is unfortunate. Indy Pride starts getting his archers to start bearing on my spearmen, which is obviously a very smart idea. I just want to engage as soon as possible, because I don't want to kind of stay in a prolonged missile engagement, as I didn't really bring many missiles. I brought some peasant archers and some crossbowmen. If they both decide to start focusing me, I'm going to be in a bad situation. And because of this, I'm kind of leaving Pixie behind me a little bit, which isn't very good. Like, look how spread out my forces are. This is a problem I have in playing multiplayer, is I kind of spread out my forces, and I'm leaving it so vulnerable right now. So they're going to engage. Again, it's not really a very favourable charge for me. It opens up my flanks, and he gets a nice charge off on my infantry. Yeah, he gets a real look at that. My men weren't braced. I tried to brace them. I clicked shield wall like at the last second. It just wasn't quick enough. And you see, that sends my men flying. And his infantry, I mean his shot cavalry, is just going to go to work on my infantry. My sword infantry isn't going to do this. I don't really have much to send. I have my general unit I'm bringing up. But apart from that, I don't really have that much else to send. And Indy Pride's getting some awesome charges on the back of my spearmen. You know, these men-at-arms are not going to hold their line if they're getting surrounded. And he keeps on bringing his men out and back in, and it's just going to do work. Like, they're doing okay down the rest of the line, but, you know, it really is. If I lose that right flank, he can start bringing more units round and just really causing me some issues. The cavalry fight is actually going fairly okay for me. Obviously, I know I'm going to win this if I just keep on fighting it, just because my cavalry is a lot better. Even though he has melee cavalry, shot cavalry just seems to always win the day. They're just so much heavier than the enemy forces that it really does kind of go into my favour. And again, I kind of do it as something a little bit stupid. Oh, I actually do get a unit through, which is really nice. I managed to sneak a unit through because I had the cavalry advantage, I have the cavalry numbers. I snuck a unit through here, and I managed to engage his general, which is really good. And actually start killing quite a few of his units, which is good. That allows me to go ahead and get some nice hammer and anvil strikes on the back of the men, on the back of the archers, and on the back of his infantry. But again, my halberdiers just aren't really doing as well as I would expect, and it's just not helping me out on that front line. So these cavalry charges on the back just aren't as effective as they could be. I'm also bringing some spearmen over. I really should have just left the spearmen into the fight to help me win the cavalry fight a little bit better. Over here, it's not really going too well for me. I'm just losing so much of my melee infantry to this cavalry. Like, I needed spearmen to kind of deal with this, and it's just not really working whatsoever. Pixie has engaged, and he's kind of just having a big old brawl off. Just everyone's engaged right here. So much sword infantry. Pixie has so much sword infantry. He's just throwing into the battle. But again, you see, Indy Pride's using his cavalry really nicely. He's engaged with our infantry. He's not fighting sword infantry at the moment anyway. Some spears are coming in. But yeah, he's kind of doing a really good job. And you can see over here, my infantry line has broken. Like, that is just so bad for me. And these units are really full strength. They've only lost like 10-15 men along this line. I lost a whole unit of cavalry over here as well. And now Warrior can kind of just use this to his advantage. He can definitely just start swarming up the rest of my infantry and just going in, just doing work. Obviously, I'm winning this cavalry off right over here. But, you know, if I don't win this soon, it's not going to matter, because Warrior's just going to have so much infantry left that it just doesn't matter, because he can just overwhelm my horses and really just cause me some issues. So really, I need to win this cavalry off, like, now. And if I would have had my spears here, maybe I could have actually done that, because I could have killed one unit and then just overwhelmed them. Got some more of my Hungarian knights over here fighting as men-at-arms, which obviously is not going to go in my favour. But all that I need them to do is just hold, and they're kind of good at doing that. You know, they're a decently armoured unit. They're not going to beat this army, this men-at-arms unit. But, you know, they're going to do a fair amount of damage, which is kind of nice. I've got some more Hungarian knights in the side. I actually do have some halberdiers left, which actually seem to have won the battle, which is kind of nice. Yeah, that's actually really nice. And I want to kind of save this, because I know this battle is lost. Like, this battle is just not going to go in my favour. Warrior Sparta just has so many men left. So I'm deciding to go ahead and just pull back and save this force. Because, you know, these guys are still somewhat healthy. There's 94 of them in that unit. And 68 of them in this unit. So if I can bring them back and kind of bring them into this melee fight over here, I still think there is a chance for us. And Pixie is doing a good job at kind of nullifying Indie Pride's infantry. He's kind of swarmed them over here with his shot cavalry, and he's overwhelming the infantry on this side. And as soon as Pixie can kind of clean this up, he should be in a really good situation. And I think one of the reasons Pixie did so well on his side is because Indie Pride deployed a lot of men just to fight me. And that's a good strategy if you can get the quick win and kind of then use them additional numbers to bring back to your fight, and your men can kind of hold fighting your opponent. But he didn't really do that. This kind of fight over here went on for a long time, and if he would have won it maybe like a couple minutes earlier, he could have then re-rallied his forces over to fight Pixie, but he's kind of losing this side. Obviously they're winning the left side, but they're losing the right side. And this should hopefully free up all of Pixie's cab to go deal with this missile engagement over here, because there's so many missiles just chilling around. Pixie's being a bit tricksy with his horse archers over here as well, which is funny. A bit good old tricksy Pixie. So as you can see, I'm just bringing my men. I want to defend my crossbowmen as much as possible, because at the moment my crossbowmen are just pounding away at the infantry, like really just going to town. Sorry that we're playing in slow motion as well. I just want to make sure we get everything. You know, the crossbowmen are just volleying him. And we'll obviously go ahead and click play again. Oh, I didn't actually know Indie Pride's cavalry general's unit was actually a horse archer unit, which was something I didn't actually know. The cavalry fight is starting to go in my favour now, which is awesome. I've actually managed to kill one of his units, and you see how actually full strength my cavalry is. Like, I lost 5 horses fighting an entire unit of melee cavalry. It just doesn't stand up. It's so much cheaper because of that, but it just does not do as much as it should against that. You know, 8 in that unit, 7 in this one, and I'm beating back this entire unit. Obviously it kind of makes sense because they're in chainmail and I'm in plate armor. It's going to be a lot harder for them to kill me than it is for me to kill them. And winning this cavalry fight actually gives us a chance. As you can see, they have so much infantry over here still, and my infantry is starting to rout. But if I can free up my cavalry, that can really start to turn the tides in the battle. And he does actually get engaged on my crossbowmen. I need to get my crossbowmen out of here because they're just way too valuable to do this. As you can see, I'm trying to run them back as much as possible. This halberdier unit is paying dividends as well, because it's actually got 3 whole units of infantry engaged. You know, these infantry units could outflank me. They could cause me so many issues. But luckily, because they're kind of engaged along this entire line, they are just holding back like a big portion of Warrior's force. You know, if he could get that on my archers or on the rest of this engagement, then it'd be really good too. Pixie kind of has a whole bunch of infantry left, but so does Warrior of Sparta. Luckily, I have all this cavalry, and I'm kind of just using this to my advantage. You know, that's something they both lack now. Indie Pride and Warrior Sparta don't really have any cavalry left, and we did just go ahead and shoot. I think we shot Warrior Sparta's general to death, which is going to be massive for us. You can see his infantry is already red on the morale, which is really nice, especially with my cavalry. I can use this cavalry, which I'm going to do, just to go ahead and smash his crossbowmen, try to get these guys out the fight. And then I can also use this to try my best to go ahead and kill the rest of his infantry. Because as you can see, I just want to swarm this men-of-arms unit. If I can free up the rest of this sergeant unit to go ahead and help out, it's still going to pay dividends. Because you can see, the battle is starting to turn in our favour, but it's still so close. Look how much infantry they have left. They just have so much of it over here. And you can see my cavalry is just starting to swarm into the crossbowmen now. No, these guys should rout really quickly. And nullifying this is nice. It might not seem nice because this is towards the end of the battle. What are crossbowmen really going to do this late on? But you know, stopping these guys from whittling down my horses from a distance is really important. And because of the morale, because they don't have a general, they're going to go ahead and just rout straight away, which is awesome. This means I can go ahead and turn my face. Well, actually, I went ahead and also engaged some infantry over here, which my cavalry managed to rout, which was really nice. This now kind of frees up all this cavalry. You know, just look at how healthy my horses are now. I can go ahead and just go ahead and help Pixie out, get rid of these archers, because if these archers can't shoot into these big bulk, you can see they're pretty racking up quite a few kills at the moment, just shooting into this big bulk of infantry. And it's actually starting to rout some of Pixie's men as well. You know, Pixie's men are... This is such a close battle. I'm going to go ahead and ram these men at arms from behind though, hopefully. Come on, boys. No, am I not going to do it? Oh, I guess I decide just to go ahead and abandon this because I need to win over here. You know, this one unit's so out of the way that it really doesn't matter. And you can just see that the infantry is starting to fall now. The archers are starting to get wrecked. I brought over some of my, I think I have one Hungarian infantry unit left now. And the French are running like the cowards they are. Oh, I definitely want to get this charge. Oh, lovely. I'm happy I got that charge. And my cavalry is just going to smash into these archers. I really like their sabers though. That's awesome. And my Hungarian knights are just going to clean up the archers. And you know, this one unit over here, if it did get over here in time, it could have maybe made a little bit of a difference. Maybe not, because we just look how much we have left. But you never know. It could have actually have helped out. You know, this is an entire unit, 106 men of sergeants running. The cowards. And you can see we're just cleaning up the battle now. So me and Pixie actually managed to win against Indie Pride, which was the first of the night. No one actually managed to beat him until we played this battle. Actually, I was undefeated from the night as well, which was always awesome to see. But you know, 2 of the battles I was with Indie Pride, so I'm going to put that down to my victory. So we actually managed to win that. It was actually a really awesome battle, and I'm super happy that a replay went as well as it did. Because yeah, that was really fun for sure. A very intense battle. We got some really cool cavalry engagements, and it just went to show, even though I lost all my infantry, but I won the cavalry engagement, and that just paid such a big dividends at the end of a battle. You know, having 4 full strength, pretty much full strength, or 3 pretty much full strength cavalry units at the end, plus my general, really just allowed me to kind of mess up, just mop up the messy battle. You know, because battles aren't organized. You know, once they get into it, you know, 10 minutes into the battle, people are going to be everywhere. Archers are going to be displaced unprotected, and having you know, cavalry just coming into the battle at that point, it just completely turns the tides. We would have lost that battle if it wasn't for the cavalry. You know, my infantry had all run. Pixie's was depleted, but it could have held its own. But if, you know, Warrior would have been supported with more infantry that he just beat me with, that could have been very different for sure. So let's go and look at these kills. I deployed 1700, pretty much similar with Pixie. You know, I deployed a little bit more, maybe a couple 50 men. We deployed massive armies compared to them. Wow, I did not notice that. Well, not massive, but you know, extra 200 men is definitely pretty big. I only lost 1,000, and we actually lost similar men, but I guess we had more, which was kind of cool. My cavalry, as you can see, racking up 100 kills, pretty much each and every one of them. You know, these peasant archers only cost me 100, and they did just as much damage as these crossbowmen. You know, it's just, they're just worth it. You know, if you have, you know, 400 gold left over, get 4 units of peasant archers together, they'll rack up like 200 kills, and that's worth it. You know, this one halberdier unit, I assume this is the one which kind of held to the end, did well. The rest of them kind of did lack a big punch, but you know, that's only fair enough. You know, this one which only got 16 kills, that was the one which kept on getting hit from behind from Indie Pride's infantry coming over to support, so that's only fair enough. Same with this infantry unit. I assume this infantry unit and this one were kind of the ones up against the heavy melee cavalry and got smacked, so it's kind of understandable that they didn't do as good. My general did really nicely as well, only losing half his men and killing 95 is not bad. Pixie's infantry did fairly okay, you know, nothing amazing. It's mainly his horse archers which racked up some kills. Nice. That was really good. You know, his other heavy cavalry didn't really do too much. This armoured infantry went in though. That was a solid pick. And his archers again didn't really do much, you know. My peasant archers got as much as his archers over here, and you know, they're worth like 700 gold difference. It's kind of crazy. For sure. And Indie Pride's, anyone get loads of kills? I guess these swordsmen did a lot of damage, but the rest of his cavalry didn't really do much. I think Warrior Sparta's cavalry, yeah, his melee cavalry just didn't do anything. 7, 9, 8 kills. It was just ridiculous how much worse melee cavalry is against other cavalry, that is. Maybe they have like a kind of a specialty against other infantry, but you know, why would you bring that if you need to kind of win the cavalry off? It's just always better, I think, to bring actual missile, actually bring shock cavalry, even though melee cavalry is cheaper. You know, you kind of got the infantry on your side as well. His infantry did really nicely. This foot arms unit did amazing, 169 kills. This one did 161. This is where the French power lies, that's for sure. And his general didn't really do too much because it was up against an entire unit of my Hungarian knights, which was nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. It was a little bit longer. But let me know if you like that. Let me know if you like me slowing down the battle more, so I can one, show you guys what the battle is like looking like, what's happening on pretty much most of the flanks, but also go ahead and then show you guys the actual action. Or if you just want to see me go ahead and just play it on normal speed and kind of zoom in and just kind of ignore what's going out on the outside, let me know in the comments down below, because I really want to kind of nail what you guys want to see. There's no point in me doing something that you guys don't want to watch. So just let me know what balance you want, if you want me to just kind of slow it down a little bit more, or slow it down as much as I did in that battle, or if you just want me to go ahead and play at normal speed and kind of just, you know, zoom in more and kind of just ignore what's going on like everywhere, and just kind of focus more on like certain areas for parts of the video. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. So make sure to go ahead and drop a like and a comment, and I'll see you guys next time, and fish out.